More than 140,000 houses were destroyed in Ukraine as a result of Russian military aggression. About 4.5 million people lost their housing and property. More than 1,000 health facilities have been seriously damaged. Half of them are hospitals. Some are 90% destroyed. An analog of the Marshall Plan should help in the rapid post-war reconstruction of Ukraine. This was stated by the Prime Minister of Ukraine, Denis Shmyhal, during the US-Ukraine Partnership Forum.
Together with our partners, we are working on the program of military risk insurance for international companies that will invest in Ukraine. Ukraine's recovery plan has a special place in our discussions with international partners today. We are talking about a new Marshall Plan that will completely transform our economy and our country.
Denis Shmyhal also discussed the issues of restoring Ukraine with the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, in London. A very productive meeting with Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal. We discussed the EU's support for Ukraine's recovery and reconstruction in view of the Ukraine Recovery Conference in London in June. The EU remains steadfast in its commitment to help Ukraine rebuild the country. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, from a post on Twitter. On April the 26th, Italy organized a bilateral conference in support of the restoration of Ukraine. Minister of Foreign Affairs Antonio Tajani noted that Italy and all of Europe should demonstrate support for Ukraine in this matter.
Quello che voglio dire agli imprenditori italiani.
What I want to say to Italian entrepreneurs, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to invest. Don't be afraid to build and rebuild. Don't be afraid to look beyond the difficult months we are going through. Do not be afraid to bet on the victory of Ukraine and bet on its European integration. Last year, a series of international meetings dedicated to the long-term restoration of Ukraine took place in France, Switzerland, Warsaw and Berlin.
The numbers are very big. We are already talking about 400 billion euros in reconstruction costs. And actually I feel that the costs will be even bigger, because it is not just a reconstruction of what was there before, but it is a small number compared to what international institutions can mobilize. Ian Goldin, Professor of Globalization and Development at Oxford University, in an interview with Euronews.
Recently, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky has called for investing in Ukraine at a meeting with representatives of the US state of Utah.
We have 3 goals. The first is to help you win this war. The second is humanitarian aid. And I remember that last year we started providing 100 million euros worth of humanitarian aid in August. And perhaps there will be humanitarian assistance to restore destroyed houses as well. And so we want to help economically.
Norway has already allocated almost 400 million euros for humanitarian aid and the reconstruction of Ukraine. Most of the funds will go to the vital humanitarian aid to the people of Ukraine, and 143 million euros will be directed to the repair and maintenance of civilian infrastructure.
We are in close dialogue with the authorities in Ukraine to ensure that aid reaches those who are most in need. Russia's war of aggression is causing inconceivable suffering and wide-scale destruction every single day. Our support will help to alleviate the situation of the Ukrainian people, who have endured so much. Jonas Gahr Store, Prime Minister of Norway, from a statement on the website of the Norwegian government.
London will host the largest conference on the restoration of Ukraine in June this year. The conference participants will focus on 3 areas: rapid recovery, involvement of private business in the restoration and development of the Ukrainian economy, and the implementation of reforms.